Hey, everybody, this is Michael Sweet of Stryper, and you are watching Lots of Music.
Hey everyone, welcome today. I have the absolute pleasure of sitting down with none other than Michael Sweet, frontman, guitarist, and driving force behind the legendary band Stryper. Michael, first thing I wanted to ask you is when We Were King has been out for several months now, looking back, how do you feel about the journey that the album took you on, both spiritually and creatively?
You know, I'm one of those guys. I always say publicly, and it seems to upset some people. I always say this is our best album, and there's two reasons why I say that. First of all, because I believe it to my ears, to what I hear and how it makes me feel. I actually believe that, but also because I'm a very, I try to be very positive person when we go and record an album. And I always go into that project, whether it's Stripe or solo or any other project. I always go into it with the mentality that this is going to be my best work. And, it's a positive mental thing as much as it is a physical thing. So it's really important for me to have that attitude. So by having that attitude, I go in and I give my all and I give my best. And then after it is all said and done, I really believe that we create some of our best music. That is how I feel about When We Were Kings. I feel that it's our best album to date. And when I say best, I'm referring to the modern era of Stryper. I don't think that it's better than the past or what we've done in the past. I think that it's certainly as good and holds its own. But we're in a new era now, and Stryper has a bit of a different modern sound. It's us still, but it's a little different sounding from the past, obviously, and that's a good thing. So I think it's a great album. I'm very pleased with how it turned out, and I hope everybody throughout the world agrees and it loves and appreciates the album as much as I do.
Yeah, Michael. And is there any moment on the album when We Were Kings that you wish that you have approached differently, or are you at peace with how it is?
No, there aren't. There really aren't. And if there were, I would tell you without, I don't want to be dishonest. I want to be completely open and honest about everything. Uh, there are times in the past I would go back, more so the classic albums. There's a lot more on those that I would change than the more recent albums. But there's nothing on this album that I would change whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying. And I wouldn't change anything from the new record nor on the past albums. They are so lovely to me, and they all have history in my heart. I know for you as well, but I know what you're saying as a creator of the music and the albums. And my next question would be, Michael, fans has been asking for a Christmas album for some time now, and why now?
We just finished the music, all the tracking. The music is complete and the background vocals. Now I have to sing it. My plan was to start singing today. That didn't work out, so most likely tomorrow. And I'll sing a song a day, and it'll be done within the next few weeks. And then I go to Sweden, and we perform. And then when I get home, we will mix it and finish mixing. But I can tell you this, it is awesome. Oh my gosh, we're so excited about this one.
And could you tell us what songs would be included on this record?
We've got 5 traditional Christmas songs on it. And those songs, we did a remake of Winter Wonderland. And then we did a version of Silent Night, a version of uh, Little Drummer Boy, Go Tell It on the Mountain, which is not, one that's been covered a lot, which is cool. And it is considered a Christmas hymn. And then also Joy to the World. So we've got those 5 songs. And then we did a remake of Reason for the Season, modern, made it sound more today. It's still the same arrangement, but obviously with new tones. Sounds bigger and thicker and heavier. And then we did 4 new original Christmas songs. And Greatest Gift of All, On This Holy Night, Still the Light, and what's the other one? I'm trying to think. It's slipping my mind right now. It'll come to me. Anyway, we're really, really, really pleased with how this one turned out, man. It's really cool. It's going to be a great album.
And which of the traditional songs did you feel most connect to in this recording?
Probably the new stuff. I mean, I love the traditional stuff, and it was awesome and fun doing that. But I always feel a little more connected with new material because it's a little more exciting and hasn't been done before. So it's new territory.
I also read on your social media that this album has a unique signature. What do you mean by that, Michael?
Well, I mean, it definitely has a very unique signature. It's got this. We didn't really plan it this way, but it has this really great merge of classic. It's got that undeniable classic sound to it, Stryper classic sound, but yet at the same time, it's got that undeniable modern era Stryper sound too, because we're tuned down to D now, so the guitars are a little thicker and things sound a little bigger and heavier. So it's got the perfect merge and combination of classic and modern. Something else we did, for example, we did every single solo in harmony. So every solo, every note is in harmony, which is a first. We've never done that on any album. But the minute you hear those harmony guitar solos, that's a very Stryper signature sound. So you get lots of that on this album. It's really cool, man. It's exciting, and I can't wait for people to hear it. It's got some heavy, like we have a new song called On This Holy Night. It's very heavy musically, dark, so like a mid-tempo. It sounds almost like Sabbath, and it's got this cool vibe to it, and such a great message about how we worldwide really more often make Christmas about everything but Jesus. So that's the message, and it's a cool message. And then we've got an up-tempo song called The Greatest Gift of All. It's almost kind of a little Green Day / Blink 182 sounding, and it just this power pop metal, slightly punk vibe to it. It's really cool. So it's got some new flavors to it that I think people are going to like and appreciate.
Nice. And were there any challenges balancing the Stryper sound with the traditional sound of the songs on this new record?
No, not at all. It just all came together so naturally. As you know, we did reissues, remakes, re-recordings of Winter Wonderland and Reason for the Season. So we tried to stay true to the original form. The only difference is they'll both be tuned down a half a step. And Winter Wonderland, we didn't do the joking around in the beginning because we felt like that was something that you shouldn't touch. That was with Tim, and that was a spontaneous, fun thing, and we didn't want to go down that road and try to mimic that. That could have been real corny. But other than that, it's the same arrangements, and the other traditional songs sound killer. They sound. Little Drummer Boy is powerful. It's a really good album, and we're excited. We've been talking about a Christmas album since 1985, believe it or not.
Awesome. And Michael, when can we expect the release date for this new album?
Definitely this year. I would say the first song would probably come out. It could be September. that the first song comes out for this album, and then we'll release another song after that, and then the album itself may come out in October, certainly by November.
Is this album coming out on Frontiers Music or another label?
Frontiers will be releasing it worldwide. It will be available for all, and it's going to be awesome, man. It's such a cool thing, and like I said, very exciting for us because we've been seriously talking about this for a long time. The reason why it hasn't happened is because of our schedules. It's just there hasn't been a good time to do it. So this time, I brought it up to the label in a Zoom meeting. They agreed it would be a good idea, and we just made it happen. We're like, let's go do it right now. And we got in the studio quickly, and we're going to release it this year. And from now on, it's not talk. It's actually going to be reality. And
what song from these Christmas albums are you planning to release first?
we'll probably release one of the original songs first. I could see us releasing maybe The Greatest Gift of All. That's probably going to start the album. Great up-tempo, high-energy song. Or On This Holy Night. That's a powerful song, too. Or Heaven Came on Christmas Day. That's another one that's like really cool. I don't know, man. That's going to be tough.
Michael, and talking about the documentary that you're releasing, I guess, next year, what would you say has you most excited about?
We're excited to be able to show people, the world, what fans worldwide think of Stryper and the impact the Stryper's had on these people. And some of those interviews and people that you will see are completely unexpected. You won't expect to see it. Them talking about it, like, wait, what? So and so, what? Wow, which is what's exciting for me. It's cool. There's a lot of Stryper fans out there, and I don't want to call them closet Stryper fans, but there are the diehard fans that are proud to be fans, but then there are the people that are kind of silent, and you would never guess them to be fans of Stryper. Those are the ones that's really cool to see in the interview and hear that they're fans of the band.
Wow, I'm excited, man. I can't wait to watch it when it comes out.
Yes, and it's been a long time coming. We've been working on this project for a long time, but here's the thing about Stryper: we don't want to rush anything, and it took us a long time to find the right director and the right team, and now we got hung up. It's a lot more expensive than we thought it would be to make a documentary. To fly around from town to town, city to city, and interview all these people, it costs a lot of money. So we're right now trying to figure out how to complete the documentary. And once we complete it, which will be this year, we can expect a release sometime next year is what we're shooting for. And I'll tell you this, it'll be a big payoff. Patience and everyone waiting, as long as they've waited, there will be a great payoff. It will be worth the wait. Let me put it that way.
And I was about to ask you, what do you hope the documentary reveals about Stryper that fans may not know about the band?
The thing we want to make, like I said, the documentary, what's important to us is to make it about the fans, the stories of the fans whose lives have been altered or saved because of Stryper, because of the ministry of Stryper, the words, the message. That's the forgotten part inside of Stryper. So many times the music takes precedence, and we don't want it to be just the band being interviewed for 2 hours. That's boring. I mean, how many documentaries can you watch where it's just the band, telling stories about the history? Been there, done that. And when I watch a documentary like that, I get bored. I shut it off after 30 minutes. It's hard to make it through. So this is going to be more about the fans. There's going to be footage of the band. You're going to see history of the band. You're going to see live footage you've never seen. You're going to see all kinds of stuff. And interviews of the band, of course. But more so, it's about the fans and their side of the story.
Michael, 40 years of history for Stryper. Wow. Not many bands can celebrate that. What would you say is like the defining point the defining moment on the band's history?
Well, there's so many. Obviously, when we began, when we first started, and what happened with the band was groundbreaking. A band that sings about Jesus and crosses over and gets airplay on mainstream radio and plays secular festivals and with all these bands, and it's unprecedented. It's unheard of. I don't think there's any other band in the world that's done what we've done or accomplished what we've accomplished. I could be wrong. If there is, let me know. But it's really mind-boggling, and to see that we're still together, still doing it, and there's so much still left to be done. So there's so many moments in time, and when the band got back together and reunited in '03, and then officially reformed in '05, and everything that we've done since '05. There's just so many pivotal, powerful moments. There's too many to choose just one, but what the band has accomplished and what God has done through this band is astonishing. It really is. When I think about it and break it down, it blows my mind, and it's unheard of. And I don't think it'll ever be repeated. Honestly, it's a once in a lifetime event in terms of what Stryper has done and what we've been able to do, and we're still going, and we're blessed to still be doing it.
Great. Michael, you have always been vocal about your faith. Have you ever feel pressure to toning down, or how do you deal with that?
No, as a matter of fact, when people come against us because of that, it makes us do it more. It like if you don't want Stryper, if you want Stryper to end, certainly don't speak out against us, because that's going to just fuel the fire and that's going to make us continue on. But there's so many people that it seems to anger them when we talk about Jesus, and I find that very interesting. Those people need to reevaluate themselves, in my opinion, because why would that make you upset? A band that talks about Jesus, and I get a lot of flack. I see it on my Facebook page. I hear the comments sometimes publicly in person. I'll run into people who are so angry at the band because we sing about Jesus, and it's just really bizarre to me, because there are metal bands that sing about Satan, and metal bands that sing about the occult, and metal bands that sing about what have you, and it's like they don't seem to get the flack that we get. But maybe I'm missing something there, but at least that's how it seems to me.
Michael, and some time ago you mentioned that you have a goal of 21 Striper albums. What has you motivated? What has you like creating at this pace?
No, I mean, this Christmas album will be number 17, and studio albums, and we're already contracted and scheduled to do the next studio album. We go into January of next year, so that'll be number 18. So at that point, we'll only be 3 albums away from the goal. So I think it's a very realistic goal.
Should we be worried about that? About you approaching that goal, 21 Striper albums?
I mean, we'll keep going. That's just the goal. It doesn't mean that's where we shut off. Lord willing, we reach that goal. We will continue on, Lord willing. If we're all still capable and able to do what we do, we will continue doing so. That's also my goal with the solo albums. I'm going to be releasing my 12th solo album coming up, and I'm planning to hit 21 with that as well. I got a little ways further to go with that, but that would be a nice, if everything were to end at that point, to be able to say we made 21 Stryper albums and I made 21 solo albums, and then all the other projects that I've done. That would be quite a cool thing to be able to say, and quite a legacy, and quite an accomplishment. So I'd be very, very happy with that.
Michael, what can you tell us about the Latin American shows? You're about to hit the road starting on July 11 all the way through August 2nd when you end in Brazil. And I wanted to know what do you have for us Latin American fans? What can we expect in terms of set list? What are the surprises if you could share any? And by the way, I'll be traveling from Venezuela to Bogota to catch you on the road on July 18, so I'll be there.
It's awesome, man. That is awesome. I remember the last time we were there. What a crowd! What an amazing crowd! Man, all I can say is, without disrespecting the American fans or European fans, for that matter, or Canadian fans, there's something very special about South American fans, and most every country in South America that we've been to, the fans are just there's a passion that they bring to the show, an excitement, a passion, a love that is so deep and at such a high level that it blows our minds. It's humbling and encouraging and inspiring, and we can't wait to feel that energy again from everybody. Can't wait to see everyone again, and you guys bring it, and we're going to bring it. So I'd love to see people in their yellow and black clothing or yellow and black banners, whatever it is, come out and support. And we're going to be out there ready to rock and give our all, even though we're a little older. We're getting older, we're still going, man. We're not coming out with canes yet or wheelchairs or anything like that. We're going to come out and rock. We might be a little slower moving around on stage, but we'll still be moving.
Michael, and after all these years of being on the road, 40 years, how do you stay motivated spiritually, physically, mentally, all that?
I try not to eat too many empanadas, man. I try to eat right. It's hard when you're traveling. You eat when you can, and that's not always on schedule. And then you don't always get your choice of food. You're hungry, you stop, and you got a burger. That's your option. You eat a burger. So that doesn't help matters when you're trying to keep fit and trim. But I do my best to stay in shape. I am very fortunate in the fact that my metabolism is still in place, and I'm not one of those guys that gets real big real easily. But hey man, I do work at it as well. I try to work out and stay in shape, take walks, ride bikes, do things to keep my girlish figure, as they say, right?
Michael, you mentioned moments ago that you're scheduled to enter the studio on January. Any visions for that album? Anything that you could share right now?
I was joking around with the guys in the studio a few days ago when we were making the Christmas album, and I said, why don't we do something totally unexpected and crazy different, where people literally can't recognize who it is? And they all laughed. And then I said, once they stopped laughing, I said, I'm serious. And then their eyes kind of bugged out a little bit. But, it's funny because when I make a comment like that, I am serious, but I'm also thinking, maybe we shouldn't do that. We should just stick with the format and not venture too far away from that. But at the same time, man, it'd be kind of fun to do something totally different. And what do I mean by that? Still heavy, but still rock, still metal, still what we are, but just something completely out of the blue, not the systematic, formula. Do something just out of the box. But that could cost us. Fans could hear it and say, we hate this.
And you kind of did that with Reborn, right?
We kind of did that with Reborn. Reborn was a solo album. It became a Stryper album, but really that's the closest thing to what I'm talking about. That was a little more modern and less Stryper sounding. And, it's interesting because a lot of fans love that. That's their favorite album. Some fans hate it. It's their least favorite. So, you know, we'll
Yeah.
see what happens. I think, to be honest with you, I really think that we're probably going to make an album very similar to When We Were Kings. That's probably going to be where we stay, but we want to make a better album. So we want the songs to be better and more memorable and more powerful, and people to appreciate them even more. So if we can do that, but make a similar album, then we've accomplished everything.
Michael, and I don't know if you remember, but the first time we spoke, I kind of pitched you the idea of uh, releasing a Spanish album,
Ooh, yeah.
and you said that you would get that you need to get a translator and work on all that, etc. But next cycle, you release a song called "Te Amo," and "Te Amo," and I was like, "Yeah, it's not in Spanish song, but at least it's something." So I wanted to ask you, would you consider releasing a Spanish song for the new album?
I tell you what, look at and that is something that I'm going to take to mind and to heart and give that some extra thought. To do a whole album that way, you're talking about a lot of work. And here's the deal: we're very planned out according to the calendar. So in other words, when we do a deal with Frontiers, we go in January 7th and we have to turn it in by April 1st. We have so much time. That's it. So in order to do a whole album in Spanish, you're talking about a lot more time because I have to sing it in English, sing it in Spanish, um, and twice the time, right? Almost. And but to do one song is doable, and I really would like to do that. It's something I've talked about for a long time. I've wanted to do for a long time. That would mean the world to me, because the reason why it would mean the world to me is because I feel like we're honoring all of our fans that speak Spanish, right? And what a there's no greater thing to be able to do than to honor our fans. So every opportunity we have to do that, that's such a blessing to us. And that's what it's all about. So if I could do a song, sing a song in Spanish, I think people, when we would go back to South America or to Spain or Puerto Rico or wherever, uh, people speak Spanish. I think they would appreciate that and take part in it more and sing along. It would be a really special moment, you know. And I've wanted to do that in Portuguese as well for Brazil. And hopefully we'll make that happen before I'm no longer on this earth.
Michael, and looking ahead, how does the next Striper chapter looks in your eyes?
Well, obviously, I'd be a fool to say that we've got a long road ahead of us. I don't think that's the case. We've been around for 41, almost 42 years. I would be very blessed and so thrilled if we reach the 50-year mark, right? I think any band that can accomplish that, 50 years together, anniversary is pulling off a miracle. That would be a great goal to set. So that would be another, 8 years or so, 8 or 9 years. I think we could definitely pull that off. Obviously, we all have to stay healthy and stay alive and to be able to do that. I'm just thankful that I get to do music, man. I mean, there was a time in my life when I thought I'd never do music again, a few times. And I put everything in a closet. I started selling stuff. I thought, okay, this is it. Time for me to do something else. Here I am, still doing music, and so incredibly humbled by that fact that people still want to hear our music, and I'm able to do it. People want to work with me. Labels want to work with me. I'm able to still do what I love and what I was born to do and put on earth to do. So I am blessed. I'll take it. And however more we have, I'll take it. I'll keep going till I can't go anymore.
Michael, if you could leave one final message to your fans, what would that be?
Well, listen, it breaks my heart to go to a country and perform and meet all these beautiful people and hear them singing along and see their reaction in their faces and our reaction in our faces, and then that moment's gone. And sometimes we don't come back for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. It's heartbreaking to me because I think about whenever I perform, I think about those people. Whenever I'm on Facebook and I hear from them, I think about those people and I think, gosh, I really want to go. I really want to meet our fans there again. So to be able to have that opportunity to come back to South America and do a tour, it's very exciting. It really is, to have that opportunity once again to see all of our beautiful fans throughout South America. So we're thrilled to be able to come, and we can't wait to do it. And it's going to be amazing. You guys come out and see us. It's just going to be a special time. I can guarantee you that. And we love our South American fans and so much, so deeply. And it's a thrill and an honor to be coming and to be able to do it.
Michael, one final thing before we wrap this interview up. I wanted to ask you something personal. Could you leave a message for Anel Yandres? Those are my sons.
And how do you say their names again?
Anel Yandres.
Do they know who I am?
Oh yes, they know who you are. They're fans, and I have a recording of them singing along to a Striper song. I'm gonna send that to Martina, so she sent that to you.
Jesus in your heart. It's time for you to start giving God all the glory. Yeah.
That's so awesome. Well, you know what? I guarantee, excuse me, I guarantee they're going to like this new Christmas album. I know it. And I think they're going to sing along to this one, maybe more than any other album. I hope I'm right. But it's very nice to meet you guys, and come out and see us at a show. Bring them to a show when you can. That would be amazing.
Yes, Michael, thank you for your time. Thank you for this interview, and I'll catch you on the road. I'll see you on July 18th in Bogota. And yeah, keep the fire burning, man.
Yes, sir, man. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me for 3 times. And God bless you, my friend. And we will see you soon, okay?
Okay, Michael. Bye.